All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to today's live stream. We have some very interesting moves happening in crypto today. So I'm going to be focusing on crypto to see if we can find any interesting altcoin setups today. All right, what's up, guys? Welcome. If you're new to the channel, you know what to do. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you like what I'm doing here, I would like to welcome you all, especially my long-term followers. I really do appreciate all of you, all your positive feedback, all your positive comments and everything. I really do appreciate that. This wouldn't be possible without you guys, and I'm doing all of this for you guys, the educational content, and providing you with details of my trading system, how I trade on a day-to-day basis, and all that. It's for you guys. So some interesting moves happening right now as we speak. We can look at the current 1 hour candle is not breaking the local market structure. This is on the 15 minutes right here. It's not really breaking the market structure. It seems like it's making its way down to the breakout level here around 21.6. So I guess that would be a decent area for a potential retest, and that would also be the area I'm looking at if we're going to go long, right? So if we're going to go long on this, which might not be the best idea, and I'm going to show you why that might not be a best idea. But if you do want to go long here, I think we are now slowly but surely getting closer to the point of, well, I shouldn't say maximum opportunity because that was obviously down here, but at least the point of an interesting area, just an interesting area, right? Very interesting area, and that is basically the previous range highs. This range right here, the range high, this level, it's not perfect, but and by any means, and I don't really view that as the range highs. I would more look towards the I would more look towards this area right here as like a decent, like a good range high area. Let me confirm that by going to the left, looking at more historic price action, and we can kind of see how we do have an interesting area. If we draw this all the way to the left, you will see that we have an interesting area right here that kind of aligns with that level as well. You will see how price kind of had a break and retest of this area. So we do have some confirmation of the importance of that level. And then if you look at the daily, you'll see here that at least the lows right here fits very, very nicely on that zone. And then you have that upper wick right there. So it kind of makes sense. Another thing that also adds all right, somebody check that. Like, what am I trying to say? I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it definitely adds to the importance of this level. God damn it, that's frustrating. So what adds oh my god, what adds to the importance of this level is the daily 50 EMA right here. So I'm retard mode shutting off. That's even weirder than before. All right, validate. Thank you. Thank you, a name I can also not pronounce. And also thank you, Stephen, for validity. Validity. It validates the validity of this level. I'm fairly good at trading, pronouncing some English words of validity. Yeah. Thanks. So coming up next in Libs Learns English, we're going to talk about the importance of the daily 50 EMA. So you can see right here, let's remove everything but the daily 50 EMA from our charts. That's the 4 hour 50. Let's add that back just like that. Awesome. So one thing I like here is the fact that we have this trend line right here. This trend line right here, I do think is of importance, not because it's a trend line, but because of the fact that it's has a lot of high time frame highs testing that level. I do like this area. Also, if you want to see more English lessons, or you want to partake in my journey in learning advanced English words, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button, and you'll get notified on our next lesson. Lesson. Holy shit, man! I'm so sorry for my. Um, I'm trying to cut down on caffeine. It's not working. It's not working. I like this trend line, right? But I also something very important to take into consideration here. The trend line, I really only like my trend lines when they're confluent with horizontal levels, right? So if you have a horizontal resistance area, kind of aligning with that trend line, I do like that trend line, and even more, I tend to ignore trend lines that does not fit nicely with good horizontal levels. And I would say that the fact that we're hitting this trend line, and yes, we're not breaking above the trend line because this is a trend line area, not a exact level trend line. It's a trend line area. There's a buffer zone around the trend line, just like you have a buffer zone around the horizontal level, and it creates a horizontal zone. It's a trend line area, right? It does align with the range high area, which is basically this whole upper area right here. Maybe not that big, but at least up to the 23K area. So somewhere around 22 and 20K, 23K, we have that range high area, and that is the resistance area we do need to reclaim. And interestingly enough, you have the daily 50 right in that area. So right at around 23.5 right here, you have the daily 50 EMA. So for us to, and for me to really become bullish on this, the first sign of a very strong reclaim would be a daily open and close above the daily 50 EMA. So let's look at the history of the daily 50 EMA with the daily open and close above it, right? So let's imagine that when you have a strong breakout above a significant level, and you could probably look at this level as a pretty significant level for Bitcoin. When you're above the daily 50 and you kind of break above a significant level and start forming a bullish market structure, which I would definitely say this was right here. That was a pretty strong breakout, right? And then, of course, you had that breakout of this one, but I do like this breakout right here. When you do have a strong breakout and bullish market structure above the daily 50, you're ready to start buying, right? You should be buying. And on that uptrend, right, that new trend that is forming, you want to look for a daily open and close below the daily 50 EMA to invalidate the trend. So what kind of confirms the trend would be the breakout here or the break above 20K right here. And then what would invalidate that trend would be a daily open and close below the daily 50. And honestly, like only selling and buying when Bitcoin is above or below the daily 50 EMA is actually a pretty good strategy. Believe it or not, something as simple as that is actually quite good. You could see here that as soon as Bitcoin does have a good trend going, and it's important that it's a good trend and not only a ranging market, which I will show you. You have a daily open and close right here to go long. You have a daily open and close below here to close that long. Would it not be a very good trade because you would have missed out on this whole move right here. So you probably missed on 50% of that move right there. But still, you could definitely see how the daily 50 EMA would fit nicely in your trading style and your trading system, right? And of course, then if Bitcoin is ranging, you got to be careful with the daily 50. And that's also something I am well aware of right now. Bitcoin is ranging, and we could even start to form a bigger range right here. And then if the daily 50 starts going sideways, it's crisscrossing with price, it kind of loses its significance. But if Bitcoin starts to trend and then trends above the daily 50, that's when you can then use the daily 50 as a good invalidation of the trend, right? And like I do really like the fact that we can break above the range here for Bitcoin and kind of break and retest the daily 50. I think that would honestly be like, it doesn't feel like it's a good time to be increasing your Bitcoin position, because it doesn't feel like we're in the macroeconomic condition where we should be going long on on risk assets. But this has been my plan all along, right? I started buying Bitcoin, accumulating Bitcoin down here. Um, I think about a month ago, and before that, I haven't been buying Bitcoin for 6 months, right? Not any altcoins or crypto at all for 6 months, right? So, a part of my plan has always been to start accumulating inside the high time frame reload zone. Which where did that go? Which is this area right here. Man, what am I even doing? So the area right here, that's the midpoint of the high time frame reload zone. I've always, been interested in buying Bitcoin from a high time frame long term perspective. Inside this area, you have the weekly stochastic RSI forming a very nice bottom. You have the 2 week stochastic RSI forming a very nice bottom. You have the MBRVC score in the buy zone. You have the NUPL in the buy zone. And then the last confirmation of that would be the reclaim of the daily 50. Something in me wants to change that strategy because it doesn't feel right. Let me show you something else that didn't feel right. All right. So this is my legacy swing trading chart layout. Right? So we're gonna go to CAD JPY. What didn't feel right for me was taking this trade. Right. I entered here and I sold here. Right. Because it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. I had a little bit higher risk than I had 1%. I wanted to have 0.25%. I entered this based on the 1 hour and not the 4 hours. So I decided to exit in a loss because it didn't feel right, but everything aligned very, very nicely. And what happened after I exited the position? Well, this happened. It went straight up to TP1, right? I think a lot of you can relate to this, right? So if your feeling is not based on like logical assumption concerning your trading edge, that's not a feeling you should be trading off, right? Now, in my defense, this CAD JPY trade and the entry was not part of my system, so it made it much easier for me to exit that trade. But this right here is actually part of my trading system. And we talk about, you guys talk about volume, and volume analysis is a great tool to have in trading. There's nothing wrong with analyzing volume or using volume in your trading analysis, right? Nothing at all. And yeah, of course, it's for Bitcoin. I'm definitely understand that. So do I look at trading volume? So I don't look at volume, right? I don't look at volume. First of all, looking at volume when I'm trading the forex market, it's just very hard to incorporate volume analysis in the forex markets for me. So I wanted to develop a system that works for all markets, crypto, stocks, forex, everything. So I decided to not include volume for several reasons, and that reason being one. The other reason is because I'm always trading the reaction of the market. So I don't really buy an anticipated breakout, or I don't buy a trading pattern anticipating that pattern to break to the upside or break to the downside, right? I only trade when the breakout has actually happened, and then I want to see a confirmed retest and a bounce on that breakout area. So when I'm entering the trade, the best time to use volume analysis is already gone, because if you're looking at I don't know, let's take an example like whatever, you see a triangle and price might get ready to break above that triangle. You want to have some good confirm, like you want to have some good volume on that breakout. You want volume to confirm price, right? So whatever price does, you want volume to confirm that there's a lot of there's a lot of buyers or sellers in this move right here, and I want to get in on that, right? If you have a breakout on very low volume, there's not a lot of enthusiasm from the market to see follow through on that breakout. But when I get in, that's all gone. It has already happened, right? So usually when I enter the market, when I enter a trade, it's kind of quiet, and there's not a lot of volume to confirm my entries, right? So when buying breakouts and when buying continuation trades, it's really good to be using volume. So one could argue here that the volume of this move right here might be low. Does it matter to me? Not really, because I'm not going to be buying this. I'm not interested in buying this, right? However, what I am interested in buying is a confirmed bounce somewhere around here, right? So let's add on the fibs. By the way, guys, you see right here, when price were trading down here, when price were trading down here, and this is a really good example, because sometimes I will tweet something on Twitter and there's going to be someone saying, because I always look at two different scenarios, a bullish one and a bearish one. And I will tweet something like this on Twitter, and I will say, it looks like Bitcoin wants to trade lower to the range lows, which obviously it did, right? So it looks like Bitcoin wants to trade lower to range lows. I said, I think that is the highest probability move. I think this is where we are headed. However, if we break above range EQ, it would make sense to buy a break and retest of the range EQs up to, the range EQ up to range high. So a lot of people will comment and say like, oh, good job, you're saying price will go up or down, right? And it's not a matter of me trying to predict what will happen. I can't really tell you, I think price is going up, I think price is going down, or I'm predicting price to go up. What I can say is, if price moves here, I am looking to buy here. And look at what price did. I thought price were going down here, but look at what price did, right? It went up above range EQ, and it later came down and bounced on range EQ, and the trade would then have been, well, on that candle right here, the range, the somewhere here. The risk to reward might not be very good, but still it could easily have been a 2.5R trade, because usually what happens is, if you break and retest a level in a range, and of course in a trend as well, because this could be developing into a trend, right? But in a range, the way I would like to trade that range is a break and retest of range EQ to the upside, or a break and retest of the range EQ to the downside. And this is what happened, right? So it's not, well, all right, so that's also bounce, doesn't matter. But my point here is, we as traders and analysts, our job is not to predict what will happen. Our job is, really my job is to look at different scenarios, and when that scenario is playing out, you want to get in on that move. You want to try to predict where the trend might start or where the trend might end, and just get in on that. All right, so what do you think? What do we think Bitcoin, or what levels do we think are good for potential trade here on Bitcoin? So let's look at the fibs of this move right here, and we have an area around the 0.6, which the 0.618, which lines up absolutely beautifully with the breakout level right here. And we can even make that a little bit smaller. Could use that one right here, and the low of that. So this, in my opinion, would be a really good entry for Bitcoin if you're looking to go long on this move right here. So I would be looking at a reaction somewhere around 21.6, right? So the 21.6 area is right above the breakout area. So I'd say 21.5 would be like the sweet spot. That would be absolutely perfect. You could definitely see a move down to the reload zone here as well, the 0.702, which is the midpoint of the reload zone. What would really make this perfect would be if you have the 4-hour 50 EMA or the 4-hour 20 EMA kind of aligning with this fib area right here. So let's add the 4-hour 50. Well, it's a little bit below, but I do suspect that the 20 will be in a nice area. So you see right here, the 20 is right here. And in maybe 1 or 2 4-hour candle closes, it's going to be very nicely around the 0.618 here. And that's where you have that good confidence, right? So what are you looking for as confirmation? Honestly, I'm not going to take this trade. Why am I not going to take this trade? Because if you go out to the daily, you're not going to long this, obviously. However, Bitcoin confirms a long here on the 4-hour or maybe even the 1-hour. 1-hour looks much cleaner. But if you have something confirming on the 4-hour, you think price is moving higher, it would make sense to look towards the altcoin market to see if you can find an altcoin that is lining up with your system better than Bitcoin is. This is going to be hard for me to trade on Bitcoin because it's very tight. I don't really know what I'm looking at here. So you look at the altcoin market, and let's do that, right? Let's go through the green list right here. I haven't been updating this for since last week, but you have a coin like PYR. This is the Volcan, another name or whatever pronounced thing weird. This coin right here, I like the fact that it broke and reclaimed. So it broke and retested the daily 50 EMA and came down and retested the 0.618 here beautifully as well. So that's a really good retest right here. And you can see how I've looked at a potential entry right here. So these are the coins you want to look at, right? Bitcoin is trading below the daily 50. This one right here traded above the daily 50. When that break and retest of the range EQ happened on Bitcoin, this happened on an altcoin, and it actually had a pretty nice move. We look at Cardano right here, not really the same type of setup right here because it's actually below the daily 50 as well. It does look like it's putting in a pretty good break in market structure right here, and it might also be the fact that the monthly open is confluent with the reload zone, which it is. You look at the midpoint of the reload zone, it's actually in perfect confluent with the monthly open, and that is a pretty good confluence to have. And you also have that trend line, so you might see a move down for Cardano right here. Test that monthly open, right? It tests that monthly open, confluent with that trend line, and gives confirmation. You also have the daily 20 EMA right here. So this is a really good level. Now, this is something I'm potentially could be trading on Cardano because it just lines up so nicely. And the risk to reward, even up to the first TP, would be 2.2. And considering the fact that crypto is in a bear market, well, basically everything is the bear market, and the daily 50 EMA is right up here, I would probably just exit this trade right here at around 2R for 100% profit, not really letting it run, because the probability of seeing a major breakout in the crypto market is very, very low. So I would rather just take that 2R profit and go, right? So that's Cardano, something I'm looking at, right? So I'm going to put an alert down here. You have Sol. Well, look at that beautiful trend for Sol. As you can see here, I've been looking to short most of these, but obviously that never confirmed. But Sol is showing a great trend right here. It's too tight of a range or small trend for me to be trading because I'm trading on a daily and the 4-hour. I would like to have my moves a little bit bigger, like this. And this is just too compact. So let's move that down to the second one. We have a potential long setup here on Cardano to be watching, right? So I have Sol, we got BNB, and same thing here. Not really liking what I'm seeing here, so I'm keeping this on the second list. Cello, nothing here. Well, you know what? This could be something because I do like this level right here. And it's probably confluent with the reload zone as well. And it is. So you have that midpoint of the reload zone confluent with that area as well. So what we're looking at right here is a potential like low time frame test of this level right here, hit that trend line, hit the reload zone. You want the stochastics are said to be quite low, and a confirm bounce here, and that would actually be quite the nice setup, because it could potentially play out while still be below the daily 50 before running into resistance. So I'm moving that up to the first list, and this setup would be looking like this. Would be a break and retest, a simple break and retest of that level right there. TP1 at actually I would say right below 1, TP2 at around 1.023, and TP3 at right below 1.060. So that's Cello. We got Sol, BNB, Raven coin. I think the move's done on this one. Never mind that one. BAT is really trying, right? BAT is really trying. You guys know I've been talking about BAT for quite some time. I do believe that if we break above that resistance area, we do have that resistance area above around 0.60. So quite a big move. We're talking about a potential 50% move to the upside. So that's what we're looking at on BAT. I really don't think that's going to play out, but it's still something we have to consider. Sen isn't really giving us anything. We got Rune, nothing. Well, actually, Rune might be interesting. So for Rune, that trade would be this, but the risk to reward is just not great. So let's remove that one. Got CRV. By the way, if you have any and I'm doing this quite quickly here, so I'm going to go through the results as well. And if you follow me on Twitter, which you should be doing, Libs42 on Twitter, I will post the shots that I've gone through today as well on Twitter, so you can check that out. You'll probably find in the comments below. No, you're not going to find it there because I haven't added it, but let's continue. If you have any questions, any short requests, anything you want me to look at, let me know and we will take a look. XMR needs to be moved up to the first list because it's above the daily 50. VeChain, there could be a trade going here from that retest to the daily 50. That's a nice retest right there. Beautiful. Look at that retest of that trend line. That's just beautiful. And then you add the fibs here, you'll see that it hit the reload zone here as well, and then it's boom straight up to that one. That's nice. It's just nice seeing how the system works. All right, CRO. It doesn't matter if the system works because I'm not in the trade. If you're not in the trade, if you're not actively monitoring the market and then being active, like being available, if you're not available for the market, it doesn't matter the how good your system is. If you can't execute the trade or follow a plan, you could be trading the best system out there and not make a single dollar. All right, so CRO. Chrono, isn't this crypto.com? I don't know, like it should be, right? It's the same logo. Right. Yeah, let's take a look at VTI. I don't really do mean reversion trades, but we'll take a look. Crypto. I like this, but not that much. FET. Well, actually, this is a pretty strong one. I'm going to keep that on the first one in case we do see a setup. This is above the daily 50s. We got to keep that on the first list. I'm not really maker. Sand. All right, so let's go through the altcoin, the alt perp right here. Yeah, so we do have some really strong moves here in the altcoin market, obviously. But you get to understand, guys, even though this is some strong moves and people have probably made some money on some small trades over the weekend, and of course a lot of people, way more people probably lost money trying to trade out with very high leverage. We're still in a downtrend, like we're still majorly bearish, right? So you gotta remember that. Can you look at VET? I already did that, but I'll take a look anyway. So you look at VeChain right here, and so if there's going to be a trade on VeChain, it's probably going to be somewhere around this level right here. and it's probably the trend. This is the trend, right? So you're looking at something like this. So I would look for a trade entry somewhere below 0.024 and then take profit around 0.2660, something like that. So this would be the trade. It's actually a pretty good trade. It's a pretty high risk to reward. You know what? Let's move that up to the first list. It actually looks pretty good. All right, let's do VTI. Let's look at oil. VTI. So right now we're obviously seeing some risk off moves right here. We're seeing risk assets like ADJPY probably moving down. Yeah, but it's a low, like on a low time frame. Use 100. Seeing rejection at the daily 50. What is the S&P 500 doing? Yeah, seeing a rejection here as well. Quite, I mean, of course, because it's resistance, I don't really suspect it to just break straight out in the bear market, right? So we're looking at oil. Where do we have oil? Do we even have that one on? US oil. VTI. I traded on Oanda. What's the ticker on Oanda? Oil? Never mind. Let's see if I can find it. Should be down here. Is it VTICO USD? All right. Yeah, so it's in a pretty decent downtrend, right? It's definitely in a good looking downtrend right here, even though it has kind of broken above the trend line, but it doesn't really matter. It's trading about the 4-hour moving average. I want to short. This is something I want to short, right? And we actually looked at shorting that, but yeah, never really got to that. Well, actually, I missed the entry. So right now we're above the 4-hour 20 and 50 EMAs. I'm not really sure, but if you want to short this, this is the best area to do so. Where we are right now. Right, you look at that, the short RLC, that's where you want to short it, right? So you look at I would look at the local trend, right? The local trend going into this area is obviously bullish, right? You have a low, higher low, higher low, you know, potentially a higher low here as well. You have higher high, and higher high. So this is the trend, right? So what do you want to see for this to be a good short? Well, obviously you want to see a break in market structure. So let's assume that this is the next move, right? What happens here? Will you break down and then retest this level for a lower low and a lower high? If that happens, that's where you want to short it, right? And this is where the magic of the reload zone comes in. If you have a move from here to, let's say, this level right here, you want to see rejection again up here. So that move might be something like this, right? And if you have like a 1-hour bearish engulfing candle up here with the stochastics RSI bear cross up in this area right here, that's where you want to short it. And the would be a very profitable trade, in my opinion, because you could, not in my opinion, either is profitable or not. That doesn't matter what I think. So it could be like, this could be the setup, right? Where you, yeah, I mean, you could trade it all the way down here, because look at that level right here. If you go out to the daily, you'll see that that level right here aligns with that major breakout. So when you broke that level to the upside, you had this huge move right here, which tells us that this is a major important area right here at around $86, right? So that might act as a magnet if we do have that strong move to the downside, and to get a good in, like to get a tight entry like that would be absolutely fantastic. However, that's just if you want to short it right now, tonight. What I'm doing when I'm trading is I'm waiting for that breakdown, right? I'm waiting for that breakdown, and when that breakdown happens, I'm gonna put my orders, my short orders, on the weekly open or the 50% fib, depending on where the 4-hour 20 is, but probably somewhere here. That's going to be my TP1. I'll put my stop loss above these highs. You'll see that the risk to reward on this trade is going to be much, much lower. But the previous trade that I've showed you on the lower time frames is already confirmed, right? So in my opinion, it's a higher probability trade. So this would be the trade, and this would be a 2.4 hour trade, quite low R considering it's a major move to the downside, but still that's the system. Right, what else? USD CHN. Let's look at that one. Yeah, let's take a look. So let's, I don't know, like yeah, maybe I don't really like the fact that it's would this be a short or long? I mean, it needs to be a long. It kind of makes sense. I just don't like the fact that this is happening below that low. So it kind of looks like the beginning of a bearish market structure, right? Which I don't really like. I think we need to reclaim this level right here. And there's I'm putting the fibs on this low to this high, so it's, yeah, it looks good, looks all right, but it doesn't really tick all the boxes of what I want to see, but it looks pretty good. LRC, loop ring, right? I think it's loop ring, yeah. Yeah, I mean, everything looks the same in the altcoin market. You have a breakout and you have a breakout level, and it's the breakout level you want to watch for potential long entries. You want to start looking for buys in that area, and then look for that breakout. The problem is though that the entries, like I don't really like well, maybe. So you want to look at a confirmed entry around that level right there, and then trade it up to the daily 50. All right, guys, I'm actually done with today's live stream. I just wanted to do a live stream to kind of give you my thoughts on what I'm currently seeing in any possible setup. So let's do a quick summary right here. Bitcoin is still in a major downtrend. Crypto is still in a major bear market. The economics of the world is still shit, right? Still looks very, very bad. Everything's just bad. But if there's a retest of the 21.5 area for Bitcoin and we start trending higher, there's going to be good opportunities on altcoins if these altcoins can come down and test the breakout area. And some of the altcoins I'm watching is Cardano for a quick 2-hour trade. We're looking at Celo. For this trade right here, we're looking at XMR for something. I don't really know what yet, but a break and retest of the daily 50 EMA. FET is interesting because it has a lot of room to go from daily 20 to daily 50. Comp is interesting because it's above the daily 50. SAND is interesting because the daily 50 EMA lines up perfectly with the breakout area, and then VET because the breakdown area aligns nicely with the daily 20, and TP would then be the daily 50. So you see how I'm either playing the break and retest of the daily 50, or I'm playing the break and retest of the previous breakout with the daily 50 as my take profit target for the altcoins that are below the daily 50. All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to be posting these on Twitter as well if you want to see shots of this. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for joining, everyone. And I hope to see you all on Wednesday. I'm doing a webinar with a guy called Dirk from Prime XPT Academy. He's a seasoned trader, a veteran. He's been trading for over 20 years in the markets, and I'm going to do a live trading session with him. So I'm going to ask him questions about his career while trading. We're going to start, we're going to look at setups together. We trade completely different. So it's going to be very interesting to see how our trading styles and trading systems kind of work together. And yeah, we're going to try to give you guys some interesting content and hopefully some educational stuff on Wednesday, I believe at around 8 or 9 UTC. All right, guys, take care and see you guys on Wednesday.